To share it, it won't let me switch to my.
Too late, brother. You're not. We are live.
My Facebook is acting like a turd.
You want me to share it? To yours?
Well, I have to still approve it. I got that setting on that way. That way I don't get tagged in a bunch of stuff, because I was having problems there for a while getting tagged with a bunch of stuff that.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't too appropriate for my page and such.
You should hang out with better friends.
Right?
Hey, well, there's our opening anyway, so I just did it ass backwards. Show starting in a few minutes, and all we were doing was watching me, because it's all about me.
Are you sure we're on the Blast, right? Or the Blast Network webcast?
We're not on the Blast.
No, but I mean not on the Blast, but we're on the Blast webcast. That's the page for, isn't it? Or do we have our own YouTube channel now?
Well, it's all kind of part of the same one. You want the link?
All right. No, I can just click on it right here.
Let me know when you're ready to go, bro.
Rock it out, brother.
Can I take it live?
I think we already are.
We were born for this, right? Oh, man.
Amen.
All right. So we're having a no-show tonight because I got home literally like 3 or 4 minutes ago. And I don't know what you were doing, but you were building furniture all day. And so we didn't really plan a whole lot of stuff, but I do have some things tagged for the show. Obviously, there was a lot going on today with the Electoral College and the attacks in Belgium and stuff like that, which...
Berlin,
whatever. Belgium, Berlin, they all the same.
Berlin. Well, Germany, which that's a whole different story.
Tomato.
Plus in Turkey with the ambassador, that we get to watch how a real leader takes care of business.
How about that? So everybody's freaking out today going, oh my God, what is Putin going to do? What's Putin going to do? He's going to blah, 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 blah. Well, pretty much the exact same thing happened to us 3-4 years ago now in Benghazi. And our president, instead of people saying, oh my God, what's Obama going to do? What's America going to do? He comes out immediately, says, we are going to hold that YouTube video owner accountable. Like, what? Dude,
yeah.
Killed our freaking ambassador. And look at it's what people are thinking now about Putin. They're like, oh shit. You know?
Yeah, Putin ain't going to put up with it, man. He has pride in his country, and that's one thing about him. I think everybody can agree on. When he says something, he means it. It's not no thin red line or whatever drawn in the sand. Well, don't cross this line. Oh, will you cross that line? Well, you better not cross this one. Oh, will you cross that one too? You know, that that was so embarrassing.
God almighty.
You know,
January 20th cannot come. We have days. On the Dawg Dec page, on the very first thing on there, you just click and it shows a countdown clock, which is good. Right. Hey, so let's just go right into some topics, because people are, oh, we don't want that one. That was an ad. So Bill Clinton today is blaming angry white males for Hillary losing, and saying Clinton says Trump just clicks with angry white men. So basically, and here was another one. I'll put that bad boy up there. Bill Clinton, Trump knows how to get angry white men to vote for him. So is he saying that he voted for Trump?
Right.
Is that what he's saying?
That makes you wonder, huh? Makes you wonder.
Anyways, all right.
I'm just wondering where they're going to go to now, because the, here's the deal. Hillary Clinton is officially the first woman to lose not once the election the same year, not twice, but 3 times she has lost the election in the same year. So I guess technically she does set history and set records and whatnot.
Wait, how'd she lose it 3 times in 1 year?
But you got to figure the main election, and then they got to do the recount. And today they were hoping to convince the Electoral College to sway the vote with them. So there's your third time.
All right, I'll buy that. I'll buy what you're selling, Bill. What about, okay, so speaking of that, the Electoral College, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that Trump was going to be losing votes and stuff. So Hillary Clinton, Electoral College surprise, and not in a good way. Did you know that in Washington State, 4 electors, let me pull that up. 4 Democrat electors voted for, 3 of them voted for Colin, how do you say the name? Colin Powell, whatever. For the tune of $1,000 each.
Yep, they get fined. And I also read too another one, or I didn't read it. I heard it today on the radio that one of them actually wrote in Bernie Sanders and got reprimanded and went back and had to change it to Hillary Clinton.
Yes, and they had some of them where they said, no, you're not going to vote, since they weren't going to vote for Hillary, and replaced them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but can you imagine? She won your state. You are a Democrat, and well, I assume they were a Democrat because they signed up to be a Democrat elector, right? You would rather pay $1,000 fine than just vote for Hillary?
It all comes back to, yeah. I mean, look who they put up, and I was listening today to a show, and they said, Democrats have no one to blame but themselves. They just keep going with the same, logic of, well, who's next in line? Who's next in line? Who's next in line? I think that's where Trump really surprised people, because he popped up out of nowhere, and wasn't part of the, little trickle down who gets in office next type of thing that we've been running with all the Bushes and the Clintons, and you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know that it was supposed to be Hillary instead of Barack Obama. I mean, with the way that they had set that up, it was Bush Sr., then Bill, and then Hillary, and then George. But is that how it's supposed to go? George. No.
GW.
Yeah, then GW, and then Hillary. But Barack Obama and Ted Kennedy stepped in and boosted that guy, and he won it in the end. So, anyways,
yeah, that's a whole different story. I mean, where did Obama come from? I mean, I remember seeing him like way back in the day, and he was a senator or whatnot, or a junior senator, and doing great things. And all of a sudden, boom, his name's on the presidential election.
They had him on the fast track before they got him into a senator. 18 months was all that was there. That's pre-planned for this guy to run. Somebody had that guy already in place who probably hates the Clintons, because after GW was supposed to be Hillary for the last 8 years, and then now would have been Jeb's time.
Yep.
He was back and forth, but
old Jeb got shut down quick in the prelims, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Now watch this. So in the state of Washington, one of the people who got a vote was named Faith Spotted Eagle. You know that?
Right. Yeah, I'm reading that.
Yeah, they voted.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, Native American tribal leader. Faith Spotted Eagle got 1 vote. For $1,000, I'll take Faith Spotted Eagle. Wow.
Right.
Wow. All right. So that's it. It's going to be a quick show tonight, huh? Because I'm just ripping through the shit out of this. So I get it. Now, I already knew this was happening, but I get a text this morning from the airport. I'm not going to say where, and I'm not going to say where they're going. just because I can't. But my mom, so my brother and his wife and 2 kids and my mom, they're taking my mom to Europe, somewhere in Europe for Christmas for the next 10 days. And all of a sudden, this crap's going on. Well, I've been telling them forever, you guys are freaking idiots, but they're hardcore liberal, and that should keep them safe. Right? I mean, because the terrorists, they like liberals, right? Yeah, they'll be safe.
I pray they are, brother.
Dude,
I'm gonna agree with you on that one. That yeah, I pray they're safe, but yeah, I wouldn't go overseas if you paid me.
No.
You know.
No. It's ridiculous. So, anyways, this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess I'd go to Ireland or something. I mean, I got family over there, so pretty sure we'd be okay there. Because you know, as long as I didn't get mixed up in any IRA business.
No, that stuff's all done, isn't it?
I think for the most part, but I don't know. I guess you just never really know. I mean,
who won?
The Irish are kind of known for holding grudges for a while, you know.
Wasn't that deal like the Catholics against the Protestants?
Catholics versus Protestants, yeah, it was, and it was ugly.
A friend of mine tells me today. He's a good friend of mine, and he sends me a text. I texted him about something for work, and he sends me back a text. He goes, "By the way," he goes, "I'm going to church." He's not a churchgoer. "I'm going to church on Christmas Eve." He said, "So if I don't come back alive and I get struck down, you'll know what happened." I called him back just a little bit later, and I'm like, "Hey, Brian," I said, "Dude," I said, "do you know like electricians, what they do when they check for power in the walls? They like put a little tester in there and see if this electricity's flowing hard, and if so, they know it's not safe, and they back off, and they'll unhook things, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "All right. So here's what I learned before I got saved. I think you should take a bottle of water into church with you. And if that water you're holding, if it starts to get warmer and warmer and starts bubbling and boiling, run. Get out of the building now, because God's pissed." So leave. And then I'm like, "Oh, by the way," I said, "what kind of church is it anyways? Where are you going? Like a Holy Roller, Pentecostal church? Where are you going?" He says, "Oh, Methodist church." I said, "Oh, never mind." I said, "God doesn't hang out."
You're fine there.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh boy, did we say that live on the air?
Oh,
yes, we did.
God loves everybody, even whatever. So I almost got my ass kicked, and I had to from Lisa, and I had to think of something really quick. Oh, wait a minute. No, she watched our last show. Dang it. I just put my foot in my mouth. See my new headphones?
Oh, yeah? There you go.
Yeah, baby. I have a headphone fetish. They'll say JK. That's V Moda.
All right.
Those bad boys right there are the AK 700s. And then I got some Bose. I've got a real problem. And so another set of headphones showed up, and none of them are cheap. I mean, none of them are cheap. I got them.
No, I priced them when I got this little doohickey here that makes me look like a gamer.
How much you think?
Oh, I'm going to go with about $89.99.
Oh.
No, wow. I don't even want to go higher than that, brother. $400. Oh my goodness. Honestly, though, if they work and you can hear.
No, wait. I'm just kidding. My wife might be watching. I was joking. You're right. $89.
$400. I could have myself a good time at the local gun store, that's for sure.
Yeah, but then you gotta I gotta sleep in these. I gotta take them to bed and I'll listen. I'm just kidding.
They better be waterproof and everything else. You're living in those.
I'm fudging with you. But I do have a real problem. love my headphones. I love my music. So Walmart, Black Lives Matter.
Good
See
night.
what they did? Walmart signed a deal with Black Lives Matter to sell their, sorry, I'm like choking on my food, sell their apparel. Now they're claiming it's okay because we're doing it through a third party. Lisa, if you want this back, I just got to clarify something. I was joking about that price.
Here's a question. You know, if Walmart's going to remove the Christian apparel because it's offensive and they can get sued over it, you know what? I might talk to a lawyer because that kind of offends me.
Right.
You know, not so much that they did away with the Christian apparel, but they're putting a racist type of thing, and I don't care what people say. You know, that is a racist group. That is like having a KKK shirt to me. I mean,
and they're,
you know, I don't
bulletproof. How about that?
Yeah, it's this is beyond silly. It's, you know, I'm just glad when January 20th comes and we can start getting America back, you know, and stop pandering to all the little crybabies of what is going on. You know, this country is so divided in so many different directions. I mean, and if that was the current administration and all their people who pulled their strings, you know, if that was their goal, they've done it. You know, it's ugly nasty out.
Well, yeah.
I mean, just look, Walmart.
Look, Kellogg's cereals supporting them. You knew that, right?
Yeah, that's silly. I'm glad I can't afford name brand. We always get the cheap stuff on the side. It comes in the bag that you get like 2 times as much.
Dude, I had to stop eating cereal.
I don't know if I'll ever do that, man. I love Rice Krispies. Of course, the ones I eat now are called Crispy Rice.
Right.
Because of the off brand.
Right. But I've got a problem with cereal too.
And
anything that tastes good. I do. Not a lot of willpower. So Lisa is cutting out all that crap. So I can't do it anymore. Yeah, so that's kind of some of the basics. What else have you got? I loaded a bunch of what we want to do is also have every week we want to have, there's always cool memes that are out there, funny memes, good memes, things that aren't funny but they mean something. We're also going to be doing a segment every week about reclaiming our words and or retiring words. So last week, instead of reclaiming what we call a politically incorrect word, things that we're not allowed to say anymore over the last 10 years. Well, since Trump won, we figure the people have spoken, we get to take our language back and or retire things. So last week, I retired the word African American from my lexicon, from anything that I'll ever talk about, because until they've got dual citizenship, they're American.
Exactly.
Right?
All Americans.
Mexican American. Well, although Cheech and Chong did a really good song, Mexican American, that we probably want to keep. Did you ever hear that song?
Oh, I'm sure I have, man. But I'm sure I was doing something that
yeah,
Cheech and Chong were doing, and I don't remember.
I am gonna get that song for next week. Mexican American. We're gonna play that song. So anyway, so I retired African American. No more, not unless you got dual citizenship. But I didn't come up with anything this week. Did you?
No, brother. I'll be honest, man. I've been so busy with orders, and it just seems like they just started pouring in. And of course, it's like -8 here. In my garage, I've got one little space heater, and God love it. It does its best to try to do something, but it's old, and it just really doesn't. You know, you got to be right in front of it, and even then, you only got so big of a space.
So you're out there in the garage working. Now, for people that don't know, you own Deer Lake Designs. You're a hand crafter. I mean, you handcraft furniture of all kinds. It's amazing. I mean, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And so you're out in your garage with this freaking 8 degrees out, making furniture by hand.
Yeah,
Correct?
exactly. That's what I do. I go to the lumber yard and buy a bunch of wood, bring it home, chop it up, and put it back together, and make things that actually, that's going to last. I mean, everything was so, back in the day, people took pride in their work, and that's what they did. That was what they did for a living, and you still see a lot of those pieces around. You go to a big box store nowadays, and yeah, they're cheap. Everybody's just so, want it now generation. I forget the word, what it is. The instant gratification. You
Yeah.
know, and that's not what I do. It takes me a minute to build my pieces, but they last. I mean, there's solid wood.
All right. So is this? Let me turn that up there. Is that you right there?
That's actually just a generic picture, brother, but I could take a picture of my hand doing that if you want me to.
Man, dude is like really working with his hand.
That's what I do. I could do all that. A lot of my stuff, I don't get that ornate with it, just because, I mean, that's some time consuming stuff.
Okay, so as an example, you made one of your most popular things that you make are, what are they? Baby, say
The barn door baby gates.
barn door baby gates. Okay, I'm gonna put up a picture of one right now.
Yeah, those are hot sellers, man. A lot of people like them, and you can use them. They're not just baby gates; they're pet gates too. That you got. That's the pair I just actually shipped off today.
Lisa asked me today about the pet doors, but I thought, no, that's not going to work because they're too nice.
Oh, but no, that's a good thing about wood, brother. When the dogs, claw them all up and everything, it gives them character for one, and for two, you can always sand them back down. Sand them down and restain them, or just slap a coat of paint over top of them.
So that is basically 36 inches tall by about 42 inches wide.
No, those are both 36 by 36.
36 by 36.
Yeah, there's two of them there, and actually, I think they were 37 inches wide.
And how does somebody fit that in their staircase, like in the top of your stairs, to stop, right, or lower, to stop the kids from coming up or down?
Okay, well, basically, there's a latch that goes in the middle. I don't attach those. I let the homeowner do that, because they'll put it on the height they want, and that way they'll close together. When at the top of the stairs, we usually do like those double gates, because usually stairs are pretty wide, the mouth of the stair.
Right.
Once you get anything over probably 40, 42, 43 inches, I recommend going with dual gates like that, just because they get big, they get heavy, and you don't want something that big swinging around. It's easier to have two of them. But you just mount them to the studs on the wall, just the same as you would a normal door, in the frame. And if you don't have that, if it's just drywall, I make these pieces that actually attach to the wall. These pieces of 1x, or 2x, depending on what you're wanting, and stain them the same color. They just slap to the wall. You screw those in the wall, make sure they're anchored real well.
Right.
And then attach the gate straight to it.
Okay, so this is another one of your pieces of work. Now,
yep.
What's the inlay on that?
Steel. That is my first attempt at industrial. The industrial look is when you add metal to the wood.
So
away from it, but this time, I decided, let's just play with it.
And how do you
took the router and routed out the channels in it, and then took that steel and inlaid it.
How do you affix? Okay, so the long pieces, how do you put those together? Are there like, do you drill out dowels?
Oh Oh, are you talking about the breadboard on the end?
Breadboard.
Yeah, they're called breadboards. Okay, if you look at the table, you got your long pieces that go,
Yeah.
and then you got your two shorter pieces on the ends.
Yeah.
That's called a breadboard. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's one of the technical carpenter terms, I guess. I don't know. Probably getting over people's heads. Okay, yeah. Basically, I'll use biscuits and pocket screws, but you can go with dominoes. You can go with all sorts of little things to connect those together.
So you're screwing it all together at an angle, right? You're drilling in little holes that come in at an angle and then screw them together.
Yep. And then I'll also add biscuits on the end. And that way, when that table, as it gets hot and cold, it's real wood. It's going to expand and contract. So
biscuit meaning what?
A biscuit it looks like a little football,
okay.
And basically it's like a dowel. It's like a flat dowel that looks like a football.
Okay.
So if you know what a dowel is, then yeah, it's basically, it just kind of takes the place of that.
All right. I just wanted to show people some of your work. I mean, it's amazing. So if they go to Deer Lake Designs, either website or Facebook page, do some pretty incredible stuff. And you ship
We're on the Instagram too, brother.
Yeah, that too.
I figured that one out.
I haven't even done Instagram.
Instagram's so much easier than Facebook and everything else.
Isn't Instagram more for chicks?
No, there's all sorts of stuff on there.
Because you know what I'm about to do? I mean, you're telling me for sure, right? It's not because, Bill, I'm really close to doing this.
No.
Revoking your card.
Instagram, dude, I gotta get my name and my business out there somehow. And there's the tweeter that I do that, but I don't do the Twitter very much.
The tweeter.
Because the tweeter, yeah. It took me forever to try to figure it out, and I still haven't really figured it out, and I don't get as much interaction. I get a lot more interaction on the Instagram. I don't do the what's the one that my daughters are doing now, where you take the picture and Snapchat. Yeah, I don't Snapchat it.
Snapchat, like end in 10 seconds or something, like your picture's gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It disappears within 24 hours. I mean, and I'm like, so why do you even do it? What's the point of putting it?
Right. Might not be a bad thing though, depending on,
Right.
So doing some memes. We've all seen all the funny memes that come through, and the one about the Russia. I'm just going to keep these up. That everyone's putting some funny ass stuff. I love that one. The Russians did it. You see that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I watched that the other day.
What did you send a photo of? Do you want me to show something?
Yeah, I just had a buddy that sent that over the messenger to me when we were talking about memes. He said we'd probably like this one. The old countdown calendar.
So you have a buddy watching the show?
Apparently so.
Wow.
See, we are fan interactive. Well, we shouldn't call them fans because friend interactive or follower interactive, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Now you got followers.
Right. Whatever folks are called. I don't know.
Dude.
I'd say fans.
I like this.
Put it on. Put it on for everybody to see.
I will. All right. What do I want to call this?
I'd call it the countdown.
B. I was going to put some up here fast so I can find it. Oh, come on. Not that fast, man. I'm new to this. That's awesome. It's calendar. It's countdown calendar. You just put that up on your wall and just start like on your refrigerator, right? Just
yep.
Down. Whoa,
there's Christmas.
What's the under the Christmas? What's the oh?
That's New Year's.
Okay. I'm sorry. You know what I thought that was? Pot leaf.
You're the Cheech and Chong tonight, huh?
Dude, I thought that was pot leaves.
You're on vacation, brother. Your mindset's already gone to vacation. You're like, it's time to chill and relax.
I am on vacation. Do you know that a friend of mine who owns a restaurant I think I told you this a week or two ago, he calls me and he says, dude, he goes, I got a care package for you. Well, he happens to grow, like he's got a big operation and he grows. I said, dude, I said, man, all you guys are out smoking pot. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I used to do that when I was a kid. I'm not into it anymore. I said, maybe if you had like a little piece of bread or something, like a banana bread, I might try it. And
yeah.
And so he's like, so he calls me, he goes, no, dude, you got to try the vapor pen. You got to do the vapor pen. I'm like, I don't do no vapor pen.
Right. Yeah, I had a buddy that hit me up, and he's like, "You still sober?" I'm like, "Yeah, 5 years in January, brother." He's like, "Okay, man. Well, when you're ready to get back in the real world," he said, "Hook me up," because he said, "Yeah, that's what they do. They use the hemp oil now, and they put it in the vapes, and yeah."
Yeah, and he said, I said, what do you do? Light it or something? I forget what he said. It's something like you just suck on it or click suck, and it just like lights itself up or whatever. I'm like, so he calls me and they're like, dude, he goes, I got a care package for you. It's waiting at the restaurant. I'm like, that was 2 weeks ago. I was like, we could have a 6-pack of beer in the fridge and it could sit there for a whole year. It's not that I don't drink. I drink. I'll have a drink. I drank a couple of last show. I obviously drank because I was talking too much. It was just coffee drink, Bailey's or whatever. But I don't drink that much. So we could have a whole 6-pack of beer, which we do. We probably got a ton of beer in the fridge, and I never drink it. It could be there a year later. But Lisa, now she'll have a beer or she'll have a glass of wine every night or something. Me, I'm freaking boring lightweight. Don't be too quick to just disagree with me, Bill. No, Jim, you're not a boring lightweight. You're a fun guy. Thanks, Bill.
Hey.
All right, here's another Russian one. You're home.
Those dirty Russians.
Russians poop. So I hope that I hope I saved this one. Oh, this one's beautiful. All right. So Hillary is asked by Ed Henry 6 months ago about bleaching and cleaning her server, wiping it clean. And she goes, "Oh, Ed, what do you mean, like with a cloth?" Right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right. So keep that in mind when you see this meme. Back over here.
That's awesome.
You mean like with an axe?
Oh, that's awesome.
It's freaking that's a good meme. Some of these people come up with some pretty good shtick. Shit. And that's another thing. I'm true to God, trying not to swear, man. I'm so disappointed in myself.
It'll get there, brother. I mean, quitting cussing to me was harder than quitting drinking and all the shenanigans that went along with that.
Lisa was so mad at me after that. Not mad at me, just disappointed. Over and over did I have to hear disappointed. You're talking about a girl from the 6th grade, and you thought that Megyn Kelly used to be cute, and you thought this, and why do guys always talk like that? And why do guys always saying that someone's cute and they think in those terms? And I'm like, oh my God. And you were swearing. You kept swearing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't win.
You'll get it, man. It like I say, it's hard. You just got to consciously do it, and it's not easy. At least it wasn't for me. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, I have no problem." But for me, it was difficult. It took me almost a year. I had a mouth like a sailor. I've worked on construction sites most of my life, so you can imagine what my language was like, and that wasn't easy habit to break. So,
well, one of the things we wanted to do at the show was take today's topics and kind of talk about them in terms of how do you stay positive, how do you deal with it in a positive way if you're with your kids and your family or whatever, and try to act like you're a Christian man or like you're
well, if you break it down to the simplest terms, dude, when you say Christian, what that translates to is Christ-like. You try to be as much like Christ as you possibly can. And here's the deal. You're going to fail every time because There was only one man in history that was perfect, and that was him. No one's perfect, but you try to, you know, try to do the best you can with it.
Well, our show, we, even though we've wanted to kind of take our topics, what do you call them? Lack of better words, I guess, our topics for the show, we haven't really been discussing them in that light, though. We've been just doing what everybody else does. So as we kind of like find our way, we do this. We've only done this a couple times. Show, really. I mean, just like balls out doing a show. That wasn't like practice and stuff. So we'll get there.
Right. Oh yeah, it'll take a second to find our groove, but once we get it, and get a feel for it, we'll know how to handle it. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, man. Let's try to keep it, what we originally planned on. The best we can. I mean, obviously sometimes topics are going to go off.
Yeah.
And let them.
But like, okay, for instance, let's go back to the terrorist thing today in Belgium. So as somebody who has faith and somebody who is well grounded in life and doesn't like depend on a politician for their happiness and doesn't worry about, all that stuff, to sit there and see a lot of posts from people who get afraid and upset and they're worried about, we're going to go to war and we're worried about these things, that thing, or I'm worried I can't go to the mall, because I'm worried about terrorists and stuff. As a, you want to say as a Christian man, or just as a well-rounded human being? I don't know. How do you stay positive and show other people in a good, to be a good example? Like, hey, here's why you shouldn't be worried about X, Y, and Z.
God's got this. He's got it. And the way I kind of look at it, and I don't know, it's not everybody can look at it that way. When it's your time, it's your time. And it's kind of like when you talk to a lot of old veterans. If that bullet's got your name on it, your name on it, there's nothing you can do about it. And there's a few movies that I've watched that also said, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. You can run and hide, or you can stand up and take it like a man. You know what I mean? And a lot of that comes down to having faith in the Lord, and know where you're going to go in the afterlife, and knowing, He's already wrote that chapter in your life. So when that chapter's done, it's done. Time to move on to the next.
So have you ever heard that old saying? If you were convicted, or no, if you were taken to court and accused of being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict you?
I would hope so. And my words right there too would pretty much seal the deal, I'm sure. It also says in the good book too, when you do go on trial for taking the side of Christ, to speak and don't worry about what you're going to say, because the Holy Spirit will take over and say what needs to be said. Now, does that mean?
Yeah. But I'm talking about, would there be enough evidence in your life that they could bring up to convict you for being a Christian
in your deeds and whatnot? Yeah, I know where you're going,
dude. I kind of wonder if there would be with me. Would people ever be able to recognize and go, yeah, that he's a, he's living his life right, he's doing X, Y, and Z, or whatever, or at least a good example, being like you said, like Christ-like or whatever, or do people go, no, he's a freaking douchebag, no possible way that he fits into that camp?
None of us are perfect, brother. And the biggest sign of a Christian is what they say is, you think of the most Christian person in your life. I mean, for me, it was my great grandmother, because she was Christian personified to me, and basically what that meant was she was nothing but love. Never saw her get upset. Never heard her say a cuss word in my life. Never got upset. Every time I rode with that lady in the car, we would get in a car wreck. Every time we would get in a wreck, and she was just calm and cool about it. And she was like, "Oh, well, we got ourselves in an accident." And here I am, probably 3 or 4 years old, getting ready to jump out and rip the guy's head off that hit us. you know. But that you know, your actions and your fruits prove whether or not you're a Christian or not. You know, and it's you just got to strive to do the right thing. Are you going to do the right thing every time? No, because you ain't perfect. You know, but that's
Lisa's
good
mom.
thing about the Lord.
Lisa's mom. She was a saint.
Yeah.
My dad was that way. He was a saint.
And when you look at them, do you see Christian? Do you think they would stand the trial? And
oh yeah, 100%. But
what was it about them, like you say, that so answer the answer to your question is what you just said. What about them do you see? And you're like, oh, they're solid Christians. You know, and do you imitate what they do?
They failed to get angry over they were peaceful. I guess the best way to say it is they were peaceful. And
right.
But you know, I got scars on my hand from getting so mad at times when my dad would say something or whatever. He wasn't like the most loving guy. And I got in a fight with him, and we were wrestling, and wasn't good. It was all me. It was all my problem, my stuff that I was doing. I was high as a kite every day. I was an alcoholic practically when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, 6th grade, drinking every day. And so, yeah, I caused a lot of that kind of stuff. But, you know, that I've always questioned too. I felt like me and my dad didn't have a relationship so much, you know, or whatever. And it I think it was because he studied 3.5 years in the seminary to be a priest. And he comes home over the summer to the family bookstore. They own this big Catholic bookstore. Met my mom, and they, you know, got pregnant or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I pop up. So I always felt like he was like not blaming me, but kind of like I was the reason why he couldn't live out his dream, even though it wasn't me who banged anybody. He did. I just came along. But I don't know. I just always felt like we never had a close relationship at all. But yeah, Christian guy, sure, he was. All right, so I'm going to move on. Just a couple of more quick picks, and then we're going to call it a day. Stuff that I thought was funny.
Well, just to close on that little segment, man. Just think about the people in your life who you look at and say, "That's a Christian," you know, and think about what makes them that. Why do you see them that way, and try to imitate them yourself. You know what I mean? Try to make more of it, because that's Christ-like. You know, like you say, and we can both agree.
I don't want to be like anybody else. I know.
Well, no, not at all. But I mean, their actions. You know, the way they handle things. You know, now there is such a thing as righteous anger too, and that crap going on with all this Allah Akbar and jihadi crap. To me, that fires me up something fierce in a biblical way. You know, and I could be wrong, but you know, the Lord doesn't want us to sit down and play innocent little victim either. You know,
you know what I do for my anger? Paxil. I'm not joking. I do. I take Paxil every day, just a very small amount, but it's more for anxiety than anything. I don't have depression or anything like that, but dude, I got anxiety issues. I just really do. Okay. So that little post right there was not funny. Somebody posted this one today, and it's not that it's funny. It's just that it's like, you know what? We as conservatives keep getting blamed for you want to go to war. You guys are just warmongers, blah, blah, blah. No, none of us wants a war with Russia, Iran, Syria, or North Korea. So let's stop the media from pretending like we do.
And you look at the news, you look at what's going on. If anybody wanted a war with Russia, it's not conservatives. You know, Russia doesn't want a war with that. So here's the deal. If they truly did start hacking stuff, and the most they would have hacked and gotten out there, and WikiLeaks already came out and said it wasn't from the Russians. Right. But even if it was, what they did was brought to light the corruption of the Democratic Party. You know, the Democratic Party, they were wanting to go to war with Russia. They're doing everything they can to blame Russia on for one thing or another.
Well, first of all,
why would we want to do that after Obama has obliterated our military power?
And I don't give two shits about, there I go again. I don't give two shits about this or believe about this Russia hacking business. Not when the Georgia State Attorney General found proof that the Department of Homeland Security hacked into their system, and 2 other states have filed suit also. So don't nobody tell me that it was a freaking YouTube video in Benghazi, and now you turn around and tell me that the Russians. Bull crap.
Right. No, the Russians don't want a war either. I mean, they're not going to do that crap. You know, it's just silly crap.
Getting back to good people, and I should have probably did this one right after we got all mushy crap about Christian and stuff, right? Gary Sinise, when I think about the life and sufferings of Christ, when I think about the stories of the extreme hardships and heavy burdens that our military men and women need to bear, I can't help but think about the verse, "For greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." And when I was doing the blast, and we had Chris Peranto on the show right after they put out the book 13 Hours in Benghazi, that right there is his number one most favorite verse or saying. For greater love hath no man than to lay down his life for his friends. And that's what that Benghazi night was all about. They were willing to do that.
Right. And to me, that's true brotherhood. That's true friendship. That's true. You know, that's being a true Christian right there. Right.
So, and well, since we're sticking with all of this lovey-dovey crap, this came from one of my biggest inspirations ever, is my daughter. So they live in Hawaii. That right there is the view from her house. It's the ocean down there. And then, oh, you know what's super cool is down at the end of the block. See the bottom of the picture? There's a white car. Well, hidden behind that tree at the bottom of their street, somebody that house down there put up a big freaking batting cage. So cool. When we went to visit them a couple months ago, my 7-year-old and 4-year-old grandsons right away take me down there. We got a big bucket of balls and we're hitting. It was awesome. But anyways, she says, after nonstop torrential downpour all day, this fancy sky shows up for a quick 5 minutes. He reminds us all of his promise. The storm shall pass and the rainbow shall emerge. And hashtag Hawaii life and ocean view and thank you, Jesus, and all that. My daughter's just one of my biggest inspiration in the world. She's awesome. So see, not just funny memes, but good memes. And one of the last ones before we go. Today's quote: the biggest communication problem is we don't listen to understand. We listen to reply. Now that got a whole bunch of likes on my page today. You know who from?
That's something that everybody can relate to. No, who from?
Chicks.
Yeah.
That's it. No guys, just chicks, just women. Communication, imagine that. They probably all sent it to their husbands or boyfriends or if they were, whatever. I almost made a bad comment. Or the butch in the family, whatever.
Oh.
Their significant other, as long as the dude's side. They want guys to listen, to understand. But all we do is listen to reply.
That's a good quote. And I'm going to not say anything else because, yeah, something just popped in my head and I was ready to reply. And it would have got me in trouble. So.
All right. Well, see, there you go. So you're getting, we're gonna hang up here for 1 second. But this is old and I did want to see this. Since I got it, I'm going to play it. I'm going to show you. I didn't do it.
Good one. I've seen that before.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Well, everyone can read it. There's no reason, but
Scroll it up a little bit. You cut the bottom off. There you go.
A wolf pack. I will read it. A wolf pack. The first three are old and sick or sick. They give the pace to the entire pack. If it was the other way around, they would be left behind, losing contact with the pack. In case of an ambush, they would be sacrificed. Then come 5 strong ones, the front line. In the center are the rest of the pack members. Then the 5 strongest following. Last is alone, the alpha. He controls everything from the rear. In that position, he can see everything, decide the direction. He sees all the pack. The pack moves according to the elder's pace and help each other and watch each other. And one of the things that I love is that picture of the lions, and it says, "Surround yourself with those on the same mission."
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot we can learn from nature, and and all of that.
Right.
So, anyways, we're going to end this thing with a little verse. You got a little verse for us?
Oh, I'll be honest, brother. Let's go ahead and end it on that.
If you don't,
last verse that you just showed about no greater gift has one man except to lay down his life for another.
You know what I really dig? I got to go back. The sword one that you started with.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So we sharpen each other.
Should do that one every time, because that's what it's all about.
There you go. I got to remember what it is. Man, my memory is terrible, brother. I'm sorry. I'm very unprepared for tonight's show. I've been working away and just my own little world with my bluegrass music jamming in the background and just working away with wood, man. It's peaceful for me.
Yeah.
It does. It sucks. I mean, I'm doing what I love. It sucks when I start getting a bunch of orders, because then it puts some pressure on me and whatnot, and it stops losing the enjoyment as much as, yeah, I do it for a living, and it becomes more of, oh, I got to make a living. This is what I do, So it's the fine line, and sometimes I'd have to slow it down and step back and do it that way.
Do they prepay you for all the orders? Do you half down, or what do you do?
Usually, yeah. If they buy it off the Etsy page, they prepay for it, or if they're local, I usually take like half down or something, enough to cover materials. And that way, if somebody does try to back out, I'm not screwed out of it.
I'm sorry, Bill. You just said that you're on Etsy. I'm sorry.
Hey,
look,
have you ever been on Etsy? There's a lot of handmade stuff on there. Where else am I going to sell my stuff? Not all of us can afford a salesperson who makes phone calls and has a home office and can do all that, can hook it up.
You were so close to getting that revoked. All right, we'll hang on. Oh my God, Etsy. Don't they sell like little candles and foo-foo stuff on Etsy?
I'm sure they do. I don't look at all that, but yeah, if it's handmade, it's on there.
Okay.
We've all got our place, brother. Not everybody can
sell dead chickens in a box and ask if you like French fries with that.
And we've all got our place, and and everybody on that site, yeah, there's some foo-foo stuff, but when you think about it, they're keeping alive a dying art too. Candle making, they're for forever. That everybody knew how to do that. How many people do you know and actually knows how to make candles now?
Dad used to make incense for the Catholic churches.
Yeah,
because that's their store, and they made candles and all that. And there's a gal that I know from school, and she's on Etsy. That's the only reason I know it. And she makes soaps and candles, and it's cool stuff. I mean, yeah, you're right.
And it's probably 10,000 times better for you than the crap you buy in the big box stores, without all the additives and all that jazz.
Next week when we do a rant, I got a rant coming. I'm telling you, I've been wanting to do this for a year. And you're going to look at it and you're going to go, dude, you're so gay. Don't bring that around here. Politics or something. But you know what my big pet peeve is?
Yeah.
Freaking these people who make shampoos and stuff, right? They print the names on there, the same color as the bottle, really small. I wear glasses, all right? It's already freaking dark in the shower half the time, and you're looking and you're going, okay, which one is the conditioner and which one is the is the shampoo. And then if you're married, my wife has like 8 or 9 different bottles. They're all like, and they're all mixed in. And she's like, well, that's the taller one. And I'm like, I don't know. It's frustrating.
I know what you're saying. Anytime you open the hall bath, and that's where the ladies bathe at. Yeah, there's like 30 bottles of stuff in there. You go in the guys' bathroom here in the house, there's body wash and a bottle of shampoo and a bar of soap. So take your pick.
Well, I'm like, how am I supposed to read which one of these is the shampoo? So half the time I'm like sticking my hand out the shower on the other side. I'm like, would you read that? Get, you know, anyways. All right. Stupid rant. I just ranted. It's over.
And you just let her rip, brother.
That's it. Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And we do have a special guest coming on in about a week or two, I think. Knock on wood. All right.
Good times.
See you, bro.